far, 207,000 have hit the market, 1% above where we were in 2025 at that point, 10% ahead of 2024, 22% ahead of the pre-pandemic average. So this glut of listings is still persisting, whether that's anything to do with the trailing element of budget lag or whatever you want to call it, where people weren't putting properties on the market so much. But it certainly appears there's just as much enthusiasm to sell as there was in early 25. How long will it last? How much of it is because of this holding off that happened? I can't tell you any of that, unfortunately, because that's all going to be conjecture. But houses that held off that were, say, valued at 500 grand or above from maybe August to November, that's probably the period in which we observed that. They should really be on by now, shouldn't they, if they really wanted to go on? They'd have either gone on straight after the budget, immediately in January, or you'd think they'd be on by sort of heading towards mid-Feb, wouldn't you, realistically? But we'll find out as we continue to monitor these figures week on week. They're so important. What seems highly unlikely to me is this is some kind of seismic shift that will continue, that we're going to sell more houses more often as a nation. And the reason why I say that is so unlikely is the frictional costs are higher, apart from anything else. The stamp duty is higher. You know, increasing frictional costs, increasing taxation does not mean more transactions as a general rule. It means fewer transactions. So the fact that so many are still persisting, that's more likely to be something unusual that's happening. And of course, what I've been saying for the past 12 months plus on that front is that something unusual is landlords disposing of rental property. Now, does that mean landlords aren't buying that rental property? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. So not sure that it necessarily means rental stock is going down. You would think there would be some slippage on that basis, but you'd also have to include in that conversation any new units that are being created for rent by new landlords, corporates, and the like, right? So it's not as clear cut as it might be, but what we can say for, in my opinion, absolute certainty is that we've got more landlords liquidating than we've had before. And there's more about that later on when we talk about HMRC's bumper tax take as well. So there isn't a 1st of April 2025 sort of deadline around stamp duty here or anything else like that. We've got a slightly less volatile market on that front in terms of things that are changing, at least until the budget speculation for the 2026 budget starts anyway, which I personally will not be looking forward to at all.